Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning. What an eventful morning, yes. Oh goodness. There's a whole busy airport electrical fire. Oh goodness. Alright, it doesn't affect me, so I don't care. I didn't plan on flying to London because, well, I make $15 an hour, yeah, and rent is due, right? My check should be around $900, right? And so I have to give $7 of it away. You do that math for me, kids, right? See, we don't do math the same way. We don't, right? Clearly, right? But my math is more effective. Yeah. Anyways. Well, I mean, guys, it seems like the only thing left to do is to get rid of your magic, right? Which means that, well, it's kind of like you all. You destroy everyone's things, everything that they build, do, blah, 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 blah. And then you come in and you yank it all from them, so they have to just keep doing the shit over and over and over again, right? So, just imagine having hoarding all of these things that you've stolen. Right? Well, you'll operate the way you operate, I guess, yeah? Warped everything, perverted everything, like turned it into some big nasty shit show, yeah? Well, cat's out of the bag. Yep, cat's out of the bag. On who's who, yeah. Who's who, okay? Seems there is hope for humanity after all, right? Do you know what kind of person it takes to, like, no, you wouldn't. No. Because if you did, or if anyone did, then this would have been done already, right? I wouldn't be the one doing it. Facts. Like I said, you have to be careful. It's very easy to find yourself on the wrong side of right. It is. when one walks around arrogant and like they know everything, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, you know, it's just a little learning curve, a little kerfuffle. Get it all straightened out. Look at those misunderstandings worked out, yeah. That mistranslation. That misguidance. Yeah, we'll get it all worked out. All right. You see, the thing about me is it's very easy for me to tell everyone to fuck off because I know that I'm innocent, right? Because I keep track of my intentions when I do things. I keep track of how I respond, right? A lot of people don't do that. They're just on they're on react. Yeah. And hey, you know what? If your mind is set on learning and growing and being better, you're gonna mess up, right? You're gonna mess up. It's a refining thing, right? It's over time, right? And especially with, you know, this shithole world, right? Who runs it, how it's run, what's perpetuated in it, yada, 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 right? All these things are considered, all these things are factored in when a real judge is calculating, doing the math, right? Right? It's not a selfish math. It's not a I can leave myself out of the equation, whether good or bad kind of math, right? It's not that, right? It's not that, right? They've put everything into the physical, made you focus on everything of the physical, and you've completely abandoned the spiritual, right? And I can speak on this because I watch people, right? They'll go do their little church things or whatever, and then the rest of the week they're shitheads, or they're focused on like just the wrong shit. There is no they are having someone else tell them for them, and then they say, oh, I got the cliff notes, I got the cheat sheet, and we're good. I know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about, right? Can't prove nothing, can't back it up, but right? See, I've been tested a lot, right? A lot. Right? I have seen things. I have heard things. I have dreamt things. I have just learning, right? And you know what's weird is like in 2012 or 2011, whenever like I got really sick and stuff, like I was really wanting to learn, right? For like self-growth or whatever, or it was just something natural in me, right? And do you know that the same person who destroyed everything that I tried to like work on, create, or do just destroyed? He just kept destroying, right? And then you can ask people like that, right? Like whenever you're responding to a particular like toxic situation in a certain way, whenever you buy a literal book and ask him if he wants to read this so he understands, right? He says no, right? The same way you can ask an asshole who asks you, like, if you're cutting yourself, if he wants to know why, and he says no, right? Because they don't fucking care, right? They do not fucking care about you. It is, you do not matter. You exist here solely to bend to my will, do what I want you to do. Your happiness doesn't matter. You don't fucking matter. You are simply here to serve me in the capacity that I want you to serve me. right? I've had so much fucking... The whole world runs on this. The whole fucking world runs on this. Evil. It's evil, right? The amount of growth that I had each time that factor was eliminated from my life, right, was exponential, right? So logic says, right? That's the reasoning, right? Like experience gives us a different understanding and perspective of behavior, right? And like I've said, you can spend time around people, right? And to me, and unless you do this intentionally like I have, right? I have intentionally been around groups of people, and then I'll work overnight so that I can limit my interactions with people so that I can observe what's in my space, how it comes into my space, right? So people who haven't done this may not know this, right? But there are energies that work through people, right? So when you meet them and they like say some sideways shit to you or just treat you a certain way, right? You need to be able to look past this, the surface, right? And understand what's behind them. Because me making myself isolated or whatever, I was able to record those exact, they have to show up how they are. They have to show up how they are, right? Because they do not have a physical vessel to use to, you know, say or do whatever shit that they want to you, to, you know? That's a fact. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if there's a physical somebody in front of me, whatever is out there. Oh, it's going to get its point across, right? And people don't know this. If people don't know this, then whenever they're like sitting in their homes and whatnot, like maybe you feel a certain way or a feeling that you have like gets worse or this and that. That's what that is, right? Facts. Like this, they've taught you to completely abandon your spiritual sight, yeah. And I really wish people would quit saying all you gotta do is say is in the name of Jesus. No, 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 no. I am so tired of these quick solutions that somebody just made up, right? No, that's not how it works. You can't, right? You can't say something out of your mouth and your energy be saying something else, right? You can't, right? You cannot fool energy. Your energy cannot fool energy, okay? It just can't. That's why I say this is the least reliable, right? But it's the most common form of communication, but it's the least reliable form of language, right? Because I could go up and tell you anything, right? And you take it for truth. And it's not truth, right? And people are okay with that, yeah? Like, this world is so detached. Like, have you ever noticed, because I know everybody's experienced this, right? Whenever you go into work, unless you're genuinely interested and engaged in the conversation, which most times you're not, right? Because you're doing something you don't really want to do, right? You're being forced to do something. I'll say, hey, how are you today, right? Because it's in a script somewhere, not because you give a shit about how they're doing or they give a shit about how you're doing. No, no, no. It would make no difference to them if you answered or you didn't. Because they're not listening anyways. Facts. What an empty type of world, yeah, it is. That's why it's so hard for people who work from the right space to get anywhere. It's impossible. It's not hard, it's impossible. I am a prime example of this. It's fucking impossible. Right? Because the standard they want you to operate at is inauthentic. It's not a proper place. And unless you bow and bend and agree to do that, right? But that's when you have to decide what's important to you, right? Because we can run around and say, hey, don't lie, don't blah, 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 don't do this or that, and don't steal, and don't murder, and all this other shit, right? You can, but you sign up, you go into the military, what are you doing? Yep. You say you're fine when you're not, what are you doing? Right? Taking things that are not yours is technically stealing, yeah? Whether it be a government or whoever, it does not fucking matter. Stealing, these things, black and white, right? It is not hard for me to be an authentic and good person. It is hard for people to be authentic and be a good person when they are not paying attention and blindly listening to, following, doing things deemed normal, right? Then it's promoted. Like things against your best interest are promoted, right? Like it's so hypocritical, it's not even funny, right? Like, oh, you can't murder anything, but I'm gonna sign up and go get paid to go murder people, because guess what? It doesn't affect me, but it does affect you. It does, right? It does. You hear military people come back, right? Messed up and abandoned, right? Because you were good for what you were good for, right? Just like everybody out here doing this shit. You're good for what you're good for, and then they'll just fucking toss you, because at the end of the day, you're just here to serve them. The way that they want you to, right? And this is where you have to say, nope. Nope. I serve me. I have needs, I have wants, I have blah, 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 right? You stop taking orders and you fucking give them. Okay? Because everybody's like, oh, well, I want to, or everybody wants to talk about like, oh, you gotta have faith, you gotta do more work than live a certain way and then ask for somebody to like fix your problems, because that's what most people do, right? You're accommodating evil and then asking for good, right? See, the behavior and the whatever doesn't fucking, it doesn't align. You're not aligned with either or. You're like dipping in, wanting to dip into like both cups, and you can't, right? When you dip into both cups or want to, that's how you get a shithole world where everyone's fucking miserable over the long term. Yeah. Facts. Right? And the whole time, like, you're the one being, bamboozled. Bamboozled. By things that do not care about what matters, what's important, right? They disguise themselves as, well, they're here for this and this and this, right? No, they're not, right? Because like I said, If they wanted to solve world hunger with all that money they got pouring in and all this and that, they would, right? Like, this ain't that kind of system. Everybody just needs to, like, first get over that delusion, right? Because that's a big delusion that a lot of people are suckered into, like, oh, this person will solve my problems. Like, no. You can solve your problems, right? Because it's you, it's your labor, it's your skill. It is you. You do not need them. Anything that takes more than it gives, trash. Trash. Right? And the earth feels that way too, right? Like all of these bones and these parasites just sucking out. You can hear them back here. Yeah. Sucking out all the oil, sucking out all the water, sucking out all the, just poisoning the fuck out of everything. And then building shit on top of it, yeah. That isn't the same resonance, right? But see, since there's a collective of people, the collective of people create a baseline resonance, which is what I'll touch on the science, which is what they based all their science on, right? They did not base it on, they didn't base it on any disruption, right? To the oppressive whatever, you know. All right. You know, because people always, you know, they'll talk about the FMs, yeah? The FMs. And, quite arrogant, yes. They are quite arrogant. You just got to read some of Pike's stuff, which I haven't, right? I don't, like I said, I don't make everybody else's business my business until it's relevant, right? Like, I won't look up something or whatever until it's fucking like, right? So, he made a statement about even whenever they think they figured it out, they won't have it figured out, and blah, 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 right? I think if your will and intent is good, that's a good thing, right? But I think that whenever the will and the intent is evil and oppressive and exploitive and greedy and all of those things, that's wrong. It is. What I get irritated with is there's a whole system in place and it's set up to serve those who know how to use it, know how to exploit it, and they're not teaching that. They're teaching something else. They're teaching something else that keeps people starving, in slavery, exploited. It's not right. It's not right. It's not right. It's not right. Oh, but there has to be a hierarchy. Yeah, you're right. There does have to be a hierarchy, doesn't there? Because things must balance properly. Right? One observation that I've made through my life is like evil will think it's getting away with something, right? If you give it long enough, right? If you give it long enough. If you give them enough rope, yeah. Give them enough rope. Right? And they've been given enough rope. That's why it's so important to be mindful, aware, and know that when you're doing the fucking math, you're doing it right. Right? And what is right, you say? It's very fucking simple, gentlemen. It's very fucking simple. If there are people starving, then you shouldn't be uh, in possession of 6 mansions, 5 jets, 3 yachts. Period. Right? Because once again, where are your profits coming from? The earth. Like, who gave the earth to you, and why are you selling the earth to people? Right? Simple question. Ask yourself that, right? Oh, well, I inherited. Well, you didn't mind fucking stealing it from everybody else. You didn't mind fucking stealing blah, 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 blah. So what is this? Like, I'm going to come in, colonize, still exploit things, and then, but we're going to say, no, you can't come in. You can't do that. You can't do that, right? Like, we're going to come in, steal all your shit, and then set the moral standard for you can't do XYZ, right? That's wrong. What the fuck? Y'all are delusional as fuck, okay? Delusional. Like, on another fucking level delusional. Right? And everybody's like, oh yeah, oh yeah. Like, come on. What is this shit? Right? That is like Stockholm Syndrome. It's, I've beat you enough that I expect you to obey me. Right? It's like generations of it, right? Right? That's exactly what the fuck it is. That's exactly why the fuck they're here. This is exactly why the fuck we are where we are today. Yeah, it is. Right? Because people think that they don't have a choice. Right? That they have to just take what anybody fucking dishes out. You do not. Right? I used to joke with my coworkers at one of my jobs. I would be like, I have a fuck you fund. Right? I like to keep a fuck you fund. So the first time that you say some sideways shit to me, I'm gonna say fuck you and I'm done, right? That's how little room, that's how tiny the margin for your mistreatment of me is, right? And now it's so fucking whatever that it's like, if I get anxious about any fucking thing, right? Well, I'm just gonna get my compensation and whatever, yeah. So that's where we are, gentlemen. That's where we are. Right? Because it is a real debt that you owe to people, to the people. Right? Right? Do you want your family, or do you want to fucking get a $900 check and then fucking give 7 of it over to somebody and then drive an hour and 20 minutes each day you go to work? The fuck? This is beyond critical. But you designed it that way. You wanted it that way, right? Have it your way. And I'll have it mine. Right? Anywho, this was a nice chat, right? No need to worry about climate change. Right? No. It's completely intentional, right? No need to worry about the economy. That's completely intentional, right? No need to worry about the price of groceries. That's completely intentional. There's no need to worry about any of this shit because it's all completely intentional. Yeah. So I'm letting everyone know that the fucking gig is up, right? And you will fucking listen to me, period. Right? You will. Because I'm just going to be over here making my declarations and doing what I do and then watching the fucking show. That's the way it goes. Right? Until my problem is solved. Simple.